Hey guys, John from ARTV. This is where I break down records for you guys and hopefully help you decide whether you want to check out a record or else skip it. Today I'm going to be talking about a huge release. It's the 13th studio album by the Irish rock band U2. This album is called Songs of Innocence. For a band like U2, it's hard to grab the attention of the world. That attention that you once had, you had fans on the edge of their seats waiting for a new album. What better of a way to reinvigorate the music scene than to give your album away to over 500 million people, and all they have to do to get that record is sign into their iTunes account. Whether you want to hear about it or not, this album is drawing insanely large amounts of attention after being unveiled at Apple's press conference, where they revealed several new products along with this new U2 record, Songs of Innocence. I can't say that I've ever really referred to myself as a U2 fan, but I've discovered some of their albums from Joshua Tree all the way up to No Line on the Horizon that came out about 5 years ago. I really appreciate how earnest Leland's vocals can come across at times, and The Edge is an extremely talented musician and guitarist that often gets overlooked even though this band has achieved such high levels of success. For some reason, I was excited for this record and I didn't even know why. It was like an early Christmas present that I wasn't even really asking for, but still got from Tim Cook and the rest of the Apple crew. The Surprise album, well, actually surprised me in a good way. I can't say that I was impressed at all. I was actually terribly bored by their last studio album, so jumping into Songs of Innocence was a breath of fresh air for me. The stadium rock antics that have plagued their most recent releases have definitely been scaled back for this album, and we really get to focus on a more personal side of the band. There's some synthesizers scattered into the mix that sound great when mixed with this guitar and bass work, and the production, while not perfect by any means, is very neat thanks largely in part to the executive producer on the majority of these tracks, Mr. Brian Burton, aka Danger Mouse. It's not always obvious that he's at the helm, but you can definitely tell on the undeniable jams like This Is Where You Can Reach Me Now. Yeah, we hear you sliding in those broken bells sounding synths. There are unfortunately some stale pieces to this puzzle where the band kind of falls back into that routine of making these poorly written rock ballads that are just concert ready and really nothing more. Point in case, Iris, parentheses Hold Me Close. It's not really so much that I just don't like ballads or anything like that, it's simply the fact that this band have failed to make one in recent times that really did anything at all for me and didn't sound like washed up and recycled garbage. On songs like this, all that's holding it together is a light guitar and a less than engaging vocal performance. I could say similar things about Sleep Like a Baby Tonight, which is one of the closing tracks on this record, but I don't think I will. The album offers standout songs like The Miracle of Joey Ramone, Cedarwood Road, and Raised by Wolves that make me believe that this band actually does still have some creative sparks flying around. The Miracle is aided by this super catchy melody and a nice set of lyrics to match. It's interesting that U2 would make a song in reference to Joey Ramone, considering it's rumored that he was actually listening to a U2 track at the time of his death in 2001. I don't doubt that Cedarwood Road and Every Breaking Wave will please those longtime fans that have been around since really the 1980s most likely. It's got enough spirit and nostalgia here to really push their way into the hearts of many listeners. Cedarwood already feels like an instant classic to me, one that's going to be appreciated down the road. But I can't say that Every Breaking Wave is really doing anything for me personally. However, California, There Is No End to Love is a totally different story. It's a personal favorite of mine from this record, full of well-structured instruments, and most importantly to this track's vitality, an infectious vocal performance. As catchy as it is smart, this song could easily work its way onto my year-end list. The Edge even throws in a nice little guitar solo. What's not to love here on this one? There's already plenty of hyperbolic comments flying around the interwebs, accusing the band of sounding too bloated or too overproduced. But I also find after some digging, most of the time at least, that these are the same fans that haven't been pleased by a U2 record since like War or The Unforgettable Fire in the early 1980s. The album's closing track, The Troubles, is also very much worth noting considering it has those guest vocals from Licky Lee. It sports a darker sound, which includes some beautiful strings and a chilling vocal harmony that meshes Bono and Licky Lee's vocals together perfectly. I think that she did a fantastic job handling really the heart of this song as she sings "Somebody Stepped Inside Your Soul" before coming back to that harmony. It's close to taking the cake here for me on this one, and it's easily on my list of all-time favorites from U2. If you're looking to hear the styling of bassist Adam Clayton on display, I would recommend the track Volcano. Sure, things can get a little bit silly in the lyrical department, but the intricate guitar pattern and the opening bass notes make this thing such a worthwhile part of the record. I also can't deny that the chorus on this thing is very compelling and one of the more explosive ones on the album. The final track that I feel is worth mentioning in a positive light is the airy but still powerful track Raised by Wolves. Driven by some of the most creative guitars on the album, this song is definitely proof that the band can still turn out a gripping hook without having to sacrifice all of their lyrical dignity. Big fan or not, I can appreciate this album for what it is. I can't speak of its longevity yet, but really, that's the case with any record. No one really knows what it's going to be like down the road and whether it's going to be considered a classic or not. For now, I'm taking it for what it is, and that's a very solid rock record that blends these classic and contemporary U2 elements and uses that to its advantage. It's a 4 out of 5 from me, a rating that I feel very strong about after listening to this album about 7 times on its day of release. If you have not heard this record yet, well, what the hell are you waiting for? It's free, it's in your iTunes account. Definitely go check that out right now. And let me know what you thought in the comments section down below if you have heard it. Are you excited about it? Are you not so hyped? Is it one of their best albums? Was it one of their worst albums? Just let me know what you're feeling in the comments section down below. And don't forget to hit that like button. You can always check out my last review that I did by clicking right down here. Make sure you subscribe to this channel if you have not. If you enjoyed the review, I hope you will. Or you can click here to go to my second channel where I do track reviews and keep you updated on things in the music world on that channel, so click right here to go to that. Thank you so much for watching this review, and I will see you very soon right here on ARTV Beyond the Reviews.